Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance. If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Well, we just lost one of our civil rights icons today.
How is it really affecting y'all? How is it really impacting y'all? Because I think this is one of the few things that we don't have in common just because of our few years in difference. I think y'all were probably more conscious of Jesse's effect by the time I came along, you know, growing up, really being cognizant of the late 90s.
Hold on, bitch. You ain't
of the late 90s and 2000s. No, seriously. I really honestly don't know bullshit. I don't know what Jesse really did. And I know that he ran for president, but the years that he ran for president, I literally wasn't alive. Like, no shade. So it wasn't a big deal to me.
He ran 84 and 88. Yeah.
Oh, I was alive for 88, but I wasn't aware that I'm 3-4 years old in 88, 3 years old in 88. I didn't know nothing about that man.
I was 3 years old too, bitch.
You was not 3 years old in 88.
In the first time I was.
I remember the 88 run. I'll say that. I do remember the 88 run a little bit. Cause what, 6, 5 or 6?
Yeah, we was young.
So I remember a little bit. I remember because my mom had a lot of buttons. She had a lot of buttons. It was in the house.
So y'all really don't. So long story short, y'all wasn't really cognizant for his impact either. Long story short, that's all you had to say, bitch, was that we wasn't here either, girl.
I think we were impacted different ways, right? Like for me, because my mom was involved in politics, not involved, but she was active, you know, to civic engagement. So it was a regular conversation I was hearing, right? Which is different than Diamond's experience. So like it wasn't just the television coverage, it was getting reinforced at home. I think I got a picture somewhere with me as a kid in a coat with a big ass, because back in the day they had the big buttons. So I had a big ass, you know, Jesse Jackson button on the coat, you know what I'm saying? So it for me and how I came up around like voting and shit, it definitely it was like the first election I remember. I'll say that, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I was a kid, so I was like 5, 6, so I had no policy, but I knew it was a big deal that he was running. I knew that he had run before. I think this is after Harold Washington won in Chicago as mayor, and so that was a big thing. And Milwaukee's about an hour away from Chicago, so it was a lot of momentum low in the area around Black political power. I'll say that.
Yeah, for me, no, not at all. The first where we had I remember conversations about Jesse, but it was more about that it was a joke, but that it was they is not letting no Black man become the fucking president. That's the consensus. I remember those kind of conversations
Mhm.
that not that it was a waste of time, but nigga, please. It was very across the board in my house, but also you understand my mom was young. My mom
Right,
was in her early 20s. And
right.
so
My
my,
mom was in her early 30s when I was born. So,
right,
like,
right.
exactly. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a very different thing from a 20-year-old talking about politics, and she ain't got
Right.
nothing but honey street motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about politics around her, but they're talking about it in a sense of nigga, and they ain't giving no nigga no motherfucking chance. So this kind of like a waste
Mhm.
of time. That's what I remember. But even
Mhm.
at 8 years old, I can't say he was somebody. He was almost like a let me think of. It was just like he was. I knew he had something to do with Martin at this time
Right.
in
I
my
was gonna
8 year
say,
old brain.
yeah.
I knew he had something to do with the civil rights. I knew he had something to do with like Martin Luther King. I put him in that same boat as I do Al Sharpton. At that time, at 8 years old, well, shit, 6, 7, at that time, I thought of them as like way older than I know they
Mhm.
were now. I just
Mhm.
that time in my mind felt like, oh, that's like the 1800s, like in
Right.
my brain,
Right.
in my little kid brain, that was like the 1800s. So those are like
Mhm.
relics that are still alive, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't get
Mhm.
into politics where I'm really consciously thinking about it until Clinton, until
Mhm. Mhm.
92, 90. That whole era
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
when it was for me. Oh, I know now, not super, super deeply, but that's when I'm like, ooh, I'm watching a show. I'm watching what's going on. So 92, that
Mhm.
election is the one that really put me in my political bag. Not anything to do with Jesse Jackson. It was too soon for me.
And that was another reason that about I had asked y'all about him, not just because of our slight age gap, but also because y'all were more politically, or y'all were on y'all political game before I was. Y'all was in y'all political bag before me. This is still all fairly new for me. So I was just curious if y'all knew something that I didn't. And
No,
um
I was being
I
playful. I
do
wasn't
Yeah. I mean,
being
I do,
can I
but
mention
you brought
something?
but you brought up
Oh.
but you brought up a good point about Clinton. I wasn't really aware of what Clinton did, and you even mentioned how black people wasn't taking them serious, him and Al Sharpton, when they were running for president. When I was growing up, or the area that I grew up in, it was more militant, more of a militant pro-black
Mhm.
atmosphere. Y'all know I didn't grow up in the church or none of that or whatever. It was very hood. And they was kind of looked at as coons. Like they was looked at
Mhm.
as the type of Negroes that if they did win, the black people the adults that were around me didn't want them representing them.
same.
And I think a lot of people lost respect for, based on what I know, for Al Sharpton and
Mhm.
Jesse Jackson, but I'm just not 100% sure why. I wasn't
I
privy
mean,
to
I
to that.
I think over the years, I'll say, especially I feel like in the mid, to the 2000s, I'll just say for this century, like after, particularly after Obama won, shit was weird. I know people in the 90s, people would joke around between Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson on black comedy spaces. But
Yeah.
I wanted to mention too what you said, Diamond, about Martin Luther King. I think for myself as well, I associated him more so with Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and more so than anything, because in that famous photo after he's murdered, right, you see all the four people on the balcony pointing. That includes Reverend Jesse Jackson because he was a young protege. He was the youngest person around him. Andrew, what am I thinking of his name? I just went blank. Anyway, Andrew Young. You had all these folks. So he was in his early 20s, I think. He was in his 20s when he was around. MLK and working on with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and some of the other work that they were doing back in the day. And when he did run in 84 and 88 and he did his speech at the Democratic National Convention, the right wing Dems, like Bill Clinton, the center right wing folks, decided to come up with that their own thing with the Democratic Leadership Conference because they wanted to block anyone that had an agenda like Jesse Jackson's. The things he talked about back then when he ran were poverty, housing, folks with disability, queer and trans people. He was anti-apartheid. Um, he talked about the farmers, all of those things that because folks like Bill Clinton were threatened by it, folks in the Democratic Party were threatened by this power of the black vote, that they had to create something to kind of keep black people kind of to try to control the outcome, even though they need the votes of black people. They did not want us in positions of power within that party.
I
Um,
remember that being the talking point in barbershops. I remember some of the more conservative Black people that I had grew up around. I remember they would make comments about in talking points and think pieces and share with us younger kids that it was necessary for them to run just because of their platforms, just because on their platforms they were bringing up these topics, like you said,
mhm,
Jay.
mhm,
And looking back, I see why, I see the necessity in it, and I
mhm.
dig it, but I just never knew at the time why so many Negroes wasn't here for Jesse Jackson and Al
I mean,
Sharpton.
I think a part of that is because we lost control of the narrative and we started looking at them through the narrative of the social structure of white folks and how their media portrays them as and portrays that era as if it was an era and a moment and a movement in black and white and not real day to day people that actually did this work that was actually all over the place and mostly not connected, right? But that was happening around the same time. So this idea that you need a leader, a charismatic leader, which is anti, Ella Baker, who was behind a lot of that work around Freedom Summer and some of the work back in a lot of the grassroots work. So this idea that you need a charismatic leader is a part of white America's propaganda. And so we started drinking that and believing that too. And so a part of that kind of got into our cultural conversations too, right? Because a part of that is the context of these the last two Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, like what I'm saying, like they trying to be like a Martin Luther King today, and they just like the idea is that they are charismatic leaders. I'm not saying that's the reasoning, but I'm saying just that having that I think a part of it is because we had it in that some of us thought about it, a lot of us including myself dip in and out of putting it in that framework, and that's where the gag comes from. So some people believe that for real, and some people just saying it as a gag because of the context of who's the leader in the community right
No,
now. When
the people
actually,
that I know, the
oh
people that
yeah,
I know was dead serious
oh I'm
about
sure.
them not following them, and I really just want to know. I want to know the negative, because for me, any hero that I have, I know the good and the
Mhm.
bad about them and the ugly, and these are people who I still idolize regardless of their good, bad, and ugly. So I'm just
I
curious
mean,
of the bad and ugly. I know that Jesse Jackson, or I heard that Jesse Jackson allegedly had a cheating scandal or something at one time. But I don't see
I
why
don't know.
Black
I
people
don't
would
I don't
turn
know how that
against.
free is,
I
but
don't
I don't know.
I don't even if that is
Um,
true, I wouldn't understand why the entire Black community would turn their back on them. I mean,
the
shit, the
entire
entire
black
Black
community
community
has never turned their
ain't
back.
even turned their ain't even turned their back on R. Kelly. So
Let me
I
say
don't
this.
think the I just want to say, I don't think the entire black community has ever turned their back on Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. I think depending on where you live, depending on the demographic, depending on all these different things, yeah, you can be around a lot of black. I think any of us could be around a lot of black people who feel that way. But I don't think that necessarily means the entire black community has turned their backs on Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton's on the radio. Al Sharpton has a TV show on MSNBC because black people listen to him on black run AM radio stations, right? Like that's his base. It's like mostly older black community, right? So I think it just depends on the demographic of the person, and we're whatever. Everybody's different, but I don't think it's a catch all for everybody. I'll say that.
I think one of the things that started to happen, people started to lose their trust in the church, and a lot of these motherfuckers come from that church era. There was a lot of selling out going on. There was a lot of payola going on. After the civil rights movement, the leaders started to be different. They started, especially in the 80s and the 90s, there was a lot of respectability politics going on that people didn't feel. There was a lot of anti-queerness shit going on, not being down with gay marriage. There was a lot of
I mean,
this was a
this is the
lot of
era where Jesse Jackson was saying, "I'm pro all these things," though, right? So it's like just like during slavery, you could say everybody. It was the times. No, because you had abolitionists, so it wasn't everybody, right? You always had people that were also like pushing back,
But
and
I
Jesse
don't. But I
Jackson
don't
was one of
think.
those people.
I don't think it's an argument, Jay, because
I'm
whether
just
he
making.
was pro gay, or anti gay or homophobic, I think he would have had black people behind him, and black people who didn't dig it.
no, I'm not. I don't think we're speaking in absolutes, like every single
Right,
black person
exactly.
or
That's all I'm
every
saying.
single. We're not. I don't think when we say that. I think, but there was a downturn in popularity for those type of people. That's why they
Mhm.
were in the comedy circles. They were. There was a coon aspect of them. There was a
Right.
sellout aspect of them. There was a sector of the community that was not looking at them in a favorable way.
Right. I'm saying, and there was a cultural moment of this caricature of your black preacher, right? That's for the
Yeah.
movie. So that's why you have the person, that's why you have in Coming to America, where they're at the black whatever, you know, Black Unity Night, right? And the preacher come out, right? So like
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Was like you also just had a moment where, this is like a caricature ish kind of, or you know what I'm saying,
But
in the
that came
community
from some
too. Yeah,
real shit. That
yeah,
wasn't.
absolutely,
That came
absolutely.
from the
And it took his own life. Yeah,
yeah. That caricature, that stereotype of that type of person came from them being charismatic, slick, and sneaky. And this was a
right.
moment where there was a lot of that going on, and people were side eyeing pastors,
Hmm.
reverends, blah 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 blah, and just the church in general, because it's been a long history of some sellout shit. A lot of long
Right.
history of government entities getting into the pockets of church leaders. There's all this kind of stuff
Ah,
happening. Get just to sway the vote, to sway the black vote. There a long history of that, and people were discussing this. Uh, uh,
that's the argument. That's it.
in
That's
the
right.
public.
That's it. That's it right there, Diamond. What you was just saying. Well, both of y'all was just saying. You with the color coming to America reference, Jay, and you would what you was just how you was breaking that down, Diamond, and explaining the whole coon of it all, and the whole side eye of it all, and the whole
Mhm.
swaying the black vote of it all. That is now that I can recall those memories. This brings that back. That was the talking
Well,
points that a lot of people would use
I mean,
against them.
yeah, and I mean, I think people were looking to like Jesse Jackson's work shifted to primarily in Chicago by like the 70s, right? So in the 80s, when he runs for president, there's a direct line between Harold Washington being the first black mayor elected in Chicago and that run, and Harold Washington saying to the black community, if y'all want me to run, y'all gonna have to get me 100 something thousand signatures because elections is math. That's why the other people, their propaganda is all about getting people to stay home so they could just shave off some votes, right? They don't want nobody else is getting targeted the way black people are being targeted and told to complain about voting, talk about not voting, all not voting, all the reasons why you shouldn't vote and be contrary about voting. Only black people are being hyper targeted to even have these conversations in the first fucking place. So it's important to know that that's propaganda in our community that's going on, but it's a direct line. Harold Washington said, I think it was like over 1 million black people in Chicago, right? He said, this is how many people can vote. If y'all can give me this percentage or 100-some thousand black people to sign this shit, then I'll run. Because then you're going to show me that you're serious about the grassroots ground game to turn people out to vote. And when they did that, he ran, and that black man won. And so what it showed was that, you know, especially in a city like Chicago, which is huge at that time, probably the second largest city, okay, this is possible. That leads to Jesse Jackson being able to run, which obviously leads to Obama being able to have some legs to walk on or what have you to be able to do his run. A lot of the work, Rainbow Push Coalition is a lot of the work that Jesse Jackson shifted to. Operation Breadbasket is a lot of work that Jesse Jackson shifted to. I think it's important to, as we remember his legacy, to talk about his work as well. Like, you know, I don't know if you remember this, Diamond, but I remember that I am somebody. I may not have a lot of money, but I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be a woman, but I am somebody. I may be black, but I am somebody. I may be in the wheelchair, but I am somebody. I may, you know, da 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 da, but I am somebody. Right? Like that went a
I don't remember
long
that.
way. Yeah, that I remember that as a kid, right? And that was very inspiring as a child because it was a part of the default as a little black kid to see this in the mix of all the other images that you saw on television or in magazines, on the Newport billboard on your block or whatever the fuck. It was just one of many things. And there definitely during that time was a lot more you know, we're past the era of, well, you know, what you want everything to be respectability or everything to be good or everything to be nice. No, we're at a place where
So
we
what
don't
you
really
saying?
have. Hold on, let me get this out. I'm saying at that time, you
No,
just
I
had
got a
way more
question.
positive
I got a
representations
que-
for Black people in a way we don't now, or in
I got a
motivating
question
representations
about
in a way we
I got
don't
a
in
question
mainstream.
about what you when I try and cut in, Jay, it's always because I want you to clarify specifically what you're
Sure.
saying now before you continue going. But so what you're saying is because I don't remember I am somebody and it was this a commercial or something
It
that
was a
Jesse
speech.
Jackson did?
It was a part of a speech.
It was a
Hold
speech.
on, I'll pull it up because I think he did it more than once. Um,
It's one of his classic speeches. I feel like
his
this is
sayings, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
This is I that to me that was his. I don't want to say.
It's
Give me
actually a
grace.
poem. It's a poem that he wrote.
Yeah, but it's something that he did. Like it was his. It's just
He
not
would
the same.
say it.
It's
Yeah,
not
like
the
at the
same.
end of
But you
speeches or
know when
something.
Martin Luther
Right.
King says, I had a dream when little boy, white boy, little black girl. It's not the same, but
Right.
this is Jesse
that was
Jackson's
Jesse's.
moment where it's like, this is what we would all. It was empowering. It was powerful. It's similar to like Maya Angelou, and I rise. It's just
So
one of his powerful words.
So he did this on Sesame Street. So that's probably why we remember it as a children, because he was on Sesame Street and
Oh,
he did this as a guest. And the poem goes, I am somebody. And then, you know, it's call and response, I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am somebody. I may have made mistakes, but I am somebody. My clothes are different. My face is different. My hair is different, but I am somebody. I am black, brown, or white. I speak a different language, but I must be respected, protected, never neglected. I am God's child. That's a poem
oh,
that
that's cute.
he wrote. And so yeah, it was on Sesame Street, but he would say it like at
Yeah,
speeches.
as
But
speeches. Yeah,
right, and the like Diamond
I
said,
live
it's
for that. I
different
live
than
for that for
right.
him.
It's different in the way that like Diamond said than I have a dream, which is or some of the riffs that a preacher might
It's
do.
a whole piece.
Right,
Like I
right.
have a dream
It's
is
just
like
a whole
a whole drawn out piece, but his
no.
poem
I have a
is
dream.
more like a
It's the
from what I'm hearing. Jesse's is more like it's more like his intro or his outro. It's a quick little. It's like a verse or a hook or a chorus
no. I'm saying
versus
it's the
I
other
have a
way.
dream being an entire song.
I'm saying it's the other way around. I'm saying it's the other way around. So Jesse Jackson wrote this poem. Jesse Jackson did the poem on Sesame Street, not a speech, just the poem. It's in books. Kids say it in school. When you might learn about Gwendolyn Brooks, you might read this poem. So there's just a poem that he wrote, that he would say to galvanize the crowd, like you said, Bree, at the beginning or the end, versus Martin Luther King could be preaching
So
about
why
some
did you
other
say?
stuff.
So why did you
Oh,
say I'm wrong? I'm
I'm
confused.
saying versus Martin. I'm saying Martin Luther King is more of the riff, where it's like this. He could be preaching about whatever, and then throw in "I have a dream." Da 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 da. He could be it's a because it's just a riff, a little segment versus a whole poem that you might go repeat in school as well. That's all I'm saying. So he might throw it
You can
into different
you
sermons and
you
stuff.
losing me, Jay, because I wasn't talking about I have a dream as a line,
Oh,
like
I
that
got
quote
confused.
unquote I have
Okay.
a dream. I was talking about I have a dream, the entire speech, the
Oh, you talking about
the
the
ain't it recorded by
speech?
Motown? Ain't
Okay,
wasn't
I
it
got so
recorded by
confused.
Motown? Yeah,
I got
the speech,
confused.
Jay, honey.
I
I was comparing both of their speeches with simply I have a dream being longer,
right. So
i.e. a song
Bars.
let me
versus
It was
hold on.
Jesse's bars. It was like
Yeah,
yeah,
yes, it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
poem on Sesame
right.
Street. I did not hear it first on Sesame Street. I
Yeah,
heard it when he would recycle it in
right.
during a speech after, because it was just the poem on Sesame Street was so fire that it moved people, and it just became his thing, and he added it many times in different speeches that he would do later after that. It just was a powerful thing. And so
Yeah, I got confused about the "I Have a Dream" thing because I know I didn't know you meant the speech because he's used it, whatever. Watching other shit, he's used the
It's
phrase "I have a
okay.
dream." So I was thinking about that because I don't know if y'all saw Selma or one of the movies with Jack where he's like, "Tell him about the dream." The woman, what I'm saying, who's at the church, and so he used that in different sermons. So I didn't understand you meant the "I have a dream" speech
It's
after
okay,
March on
Jay.
Washington. Yeah.
We all have blind moments. It's okay. We all have blind
I don't know.
we all have blind hair Caucasian moments, aka dumb. Shout out to all the Caucasian people. Nothing against y'all, but
This-
y'all definitely have blind hair, blue eye moments.
so Jesse, I'm trying to think of Jesse for me, like I said, even when I was younger, but as I got older, it was just it was similar to John Lewis. It's similar to they just were respected men of color. I also thought that he was one of the more attractive ones. to
I
be
did. I ain't gonna lie. I did think Jesse was
superficial.
cute.
He was the cute one. He had the little pork chop beard, the little sideburns. He was the cute one. He was the one that was like, oh, other than what's the one that changed his name? Star Carmel Michael. How do you say it? Stokely
Stokely.
Carmichael. Yeah, he changed his name to something else. What did he change his name to? Kwame.
God,
Correct.
don't get me
Kwame
lying.
Ture.
Yeah, so I thought he was cute too. Of course, Fred Hampton, but he passed away. The one that was
Oh,
still living.
yes, yes, God.
He was a cutie pie. I think Jesse Jackson was a cutie pie in his younger years, and in his prime to me was the 70s when he had the little fro and the little beard. But yeah, I
I
think,
don't know. Malcolm X was always the one to me. It was that
but he didn't
motherfucking Malcolm
live.
X. That
He didn't live for me to be in my cult to be in the time that I
yeah,
lived. He was
for
dead
you to
already.
see him moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that are, that live to where I'm like,
That
oh,
we actually grew up and saw on
yeah,
TV in real
yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah. He
yeah.
was like,
I get what you're saying.
cute. So rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. He definitely had a legacy, and he's one of our icons. And I just appreciate him being in the limelight, being a good representation on some level. And yeah, let us know what y'all think about Jesse Jackson. Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Hashtag
Okay.
MARSHASPLATE, honey. Hashtag RESTINPEACE, honey.
Period.
La 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 la. Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So, not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts, I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community. And I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community. Because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community is fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show. Y'all know I love me neo soul, baby, and
Okay.
Jill Scott just came out with her brand new album on the 13th called "To Whom It May Concern." I feel like for me, and I think people who are a fan of Jill Scott, is highly anticipated. Um, it's one of those albums that got a bunch of tracks. It is 19 tracks, and which is understandable because she's been gone for like 8 years. She had an album come out in 2018, but I think it's been like 11 years for like an all new. I think that was like maybe like a greatest hits album. I don't know, I can't remember, but it's been a while since she's been out, and so. I just think it's dope. I think it's introspective. I think the songwriting, of course, from a poet and amazing songwriter like herself, of course, is going to be deeply and thoughtful. There's a bold, kind of masterful. Just because she's a word playing ass bitch, it's like a bold sensuality about it, and it has that classic shit that we love in regards to that blend of jazz and neo soul and the pop, all that kind of stuff. So it's just dope. So there is a song that she performed. She's on her like promotional tour, talking about going on shows, talking about it, being interviewed about it, all this kind of stuff. So I've been seeing her all over the place talking about it before it came out. And so there is a song. Speaking of the bold sensuality, there's a song called "Baby Don't Play With It." And so recently she did an interview and she was talking about how what inspired it is that she was listening to this woman talk on TikTok, and the woman was talking about just a bad sexual experience that she was having with a dude. And she looked in not only was this woman having a bad sexual experience, but in the comments, there was women in the comments reflecting their bad sexual experiences. And so she wrote a song that was kind of talking about don't play with it. Some of the languages touch me all over my body. All my body parts have feeling. One of my favorite lines in the song is, "You ain't no fucking jackhammer and I ain't no city street." It's just a
Jill done always been slutty. Jill done always been low-key slutty. Jill can write and sing about fruit on the table, and you turn and look before you know it, she's talking about her pussy and her clitoris.
I love it. Crown Royal on ice, baby. So I wanted to have a more fun conversation. I wanted to talk about our favorite sexual experience. Like, if you think about in your life about your most pleasurable sexual experience, what made it different outside of the other ones that you had, and not necessarily the bad ones, but the ones that were, you know what I'm saying? Like, say the ones that you would give a C or a B, what made the A that A? What was the things that separated? Of course, we know bad is bad. The F's and the D's, we know them. But what separates, if you grade it from A, B, C, D, that the C's and the B's, what made the A? What made the A great? What was the thing in your What did they do? All that kind of stuff. That's my question. While y'all ruminate on that, there was a video that I watched of this African girl describing, it's going viral, and she's describing just this is amazing sexual experience, and the way he was talking to her, and what he did, and how he explained things, and how all this kind of stuff, and it was so sexy and so cute and so amazing, and that's what I want. I want to know, what was y'all what not the person's name, but describe y'all A situation and what made the A separate from the B's and the C's of your life.
You can go first, Jay. I don't know why. I don't know why you acting like it's that hard to think about. Like you done had so many partners. Like you done been out on the stroll for so long. What's your TJ?
I had to think about it. I think I've had quite a few A scenarios, so that's why it's taking me a second to think about it.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh
I know
God.
that's right.
There you go. There you go with the bullshit. There he go with the bullshit.
When you clear your pool and try to make sure your pool is conscious of and has awareness of and tries to fight against sexism, patriarchy, misogyny, racism, transphobia, and all this other shit, and try to be with folks that's aligned with you as sexual partners, it helps. You know what I mean? I might not have as many, but the quality, you know, maybe when I was really, really young, I was probably like 20, 21. And, this person was like probably like my first girlfriend. Like I dated somebody, but, we like, kind of had some energy and like hooked up at a club. We were out dancing and stuff at the little gay bar. Everybody was like, what's up with y'all? Da 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 da. So we made out and stuff. Messing around in the bathroom at the bar at the club, and then continued it on to the crib. Um, and I think just because it was one because we were so young. You know what I'm saying? So you really like into whatever. I was a young queer person, doing my thing, and definitely in a situation where I think I told y'all like I had to like wear different things when I went home, and it was like a whole thing. I had to kind of compartmentalize my life as a queer person at that time. But anyway, yeah, we got back to my place and we hooked up. It was very intimate, and it was very passionate, and it was very it just was like it was like making love, what I'm saying, type shit, what I'm saying, and it went on for a minute. Like we were messing around for a minute, but yeah, I think the when people hook up for the first time, where like you could tell it's gonna be something after that. It was very like lesbian U-Haul, like I see whatever in your eyes, you know what I'm saying. It was all that kind of shit, you know what I'm saying. Let's write some poetry or type shit. So it was yeah, so it was very passionate, very intimate, fun, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'll start with that. But yeah, that's what some things that come to mind. That's definitely one. And another time with a different person where it was like, where you got the mood right. You got your music. Y'all might have ate. Y'all might have had a little moment. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
I'm excited over here. I didn't made the list, honey. I didn't checked it twice. Got to figure out who's naughty, who's nice, honey. Baby, now to be fair, for a long time, these encounters in particular stands out because for a long time, honey, I was the AIDS panic child. I was so scared that I was gonna catch HIV, honey, that for a long time I didn't really get into penetration. For a long time I was a side, as the children is calling it now. I guess I would lay on my side in 69 with the children, honey. But anyway, the first thing that popped up in my head, Love, if you listening, don't listen. This is your cue to turn it off. I'll tell you turn it off. I'm gonna tell you right now, love, you ain't on the list, so you're not gonna like this. But no, dead ass. First thing that steps out was my first threesome with a gay couple. Baby, all of the things was happening. A lot of the things was happening at once, honey. I live for it, honey. They were sluts and they was practice whores. I believe one of them was a sex worker at one point in time. I think he was doing sex work even when I was messing around with them, and because I met him first. I met him solo. I wasn't paying him for no services. He just lived for me, honey, because I always had weed and I had a lot of meat. Just all of the stimulation. These people, I had a threesome with people who I was comfortable with, who they were clearly very comfortable with each other and were very sexual with each other and very experienced, and they knew what they was doing and they knew how to make me feel included. So it completely changed my perspective. I had options to do threesomes before that, but I never went through with it because I never felt comfortable doing it and tell them yes, and I live for it. One was a top, one was a bottom. They was both open to being versatile, oral things was going on, honey. One of them had meat, the bottom ain't really had no meat. But the top had meat, honey. One of them was thick, one of them was like a twink. Again, this is when I was younger, like a Twinkie body, skinny, slender child. Yeah, yeah. It was fun. The other who stands out is a trans guy that I've dated who I've talked about on here before, but I won't state her name, honey, so you can guess who I'm talking about. But yeah, that saying, that stereotype, that analogy, the lore that crazy vagina is good vagina was true in this case, honey. Me and the child never ended up officially in a full-blown relationship because he's crazy as a motherfucker. But yeah, like the sex, and he knew he had me trapped. I can't even describe it. Like it will only make sense to somebody who's had penetrative sex, somebody with a penis who's had fully functioning, who's had penetrative sex with somebody with a vagina, and it just hit different and it just hit right. And I'm sure like all the mushy stuff Jay talking about, honey, I'm sure our connection and all that was a factor because with me being crazy as a motherfucker, of course I click better with a crazy trans motherfucker than I would likely click with anybody else. So I'm sure that was a factor. But no, did ask, like, he would come quick. I think it was the same for him, but he's just a less sexual person than me, so he could kind of control me with sex. I gotta admit it, no shade. I mean, that thing just wet, leaking, or could come off of anything. He had never really had anybody go down on him before he met me. And I know that was a thing for him. So that was also a factor. It being me knowing that I could blow his mind as well. It wasn't just, a singular thing. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I miss it. I sit and reminisce,
Reminisce on
the
the
love
love
we had. Yes, Diamond, honey. It is literally playing in my motherfucking head, man. Woo! You know what I mean? It's going off real bad. I don't mean no harm, honey. And my current partner is aware that they would have to give me a pass. If that even became a thing, like this is somebody who yeah, I would slay on side the road, honey. Like, yeah, like, God, let me stop talking about it before I get myself in more trouble. Yeah. But what made those two experiences different is a lot like what Jay said. It was me being comfortable with these people, me knowing that they weren't sexist or transphobic or homophobic. These people are comfortable with their bodies in the way that I appreciate their bodies. Yeah, these people were into all the things that I was into, but not just that. Um, it their standards as people and what I knew about them are also a factor, because I was thinking about, and on my list, I had another situation with a Jamaican dude, and he slayed the fuck out of me. It's probably the best I've ever been taught ever. Like the best I've ever been slayed. But for him, he's not one of these that I'm going to break down and I'm going to share in this instance, because looking back on the situation, I feel uncomfortable. I had bad memories about this person, so it taints the sexual memories of it. Like, I don't know about you, and I don't know about y'all listening, but I'm a person who I'll reminisce sometimes when I'm masturbating, reminisce on past experiences. While I'm in the thralls of myself, pleasing myself, and if I have a bad memories with somebody, or if the bad outweighs the good, it taints the memories of the sexual experiences, unfortunately. Like with the Jamaican dude, for example, he was versatile, but wouldn't be versatile with me because I'm so femme. And that is a huge turn off to me, for many reasons. Outside of just the pure physical of it all, knowing that somebody else has more somebody else has had more access to your body than I have had, or somebody else can have more access to your body than I can have, just because they're more masculine than me. Like, that makes me sick in my stomach. But yeah, Diamond. What about you? I know you got some stories.
So, so everybody knows I'm a verse queen. I do it all, but I've never had a sex with anybody with a vagina, so I don't know nothing about that. So mine is from the context of being a verse trans woman who has only had sex with people who are a man, assigned male at marriage. Um, I have never had sex with anybody that identifies as a woman. I've never had sex with anybody that had titties. I've never had sex with anybody. I've only had sex with men who identify as men. Now, where some of them film, sometimes I'm on Jack and honey, a butch queen to hit me up, and it's late night. I'm
And
horny.
it is what it is.
He want to give me some head, and I let him do it.
And it is what it is. Huh.
So sometimes, but we're talking about my A, like my what makes an A. When I give you an A, that makes them different than the C's and the B's. And so, how I break down my sexual experiences is by certain things. So, I have never, and I don't know if this is a negative thing. I don't know if, well, I guess it could be a negative thing, but like you said, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. As Jay said, it's about the quality. So I not only have had the quantity, I've had the quality too. Both.
Okay,
Body, body,
come on, quality, honey.
body count is high and quality is high. So,
Great egg, bitch.
but this level of quality I have not had. I have never had somebody in my sexual life that was good at everything in one person. So I've never had somebody who can give me head well, dick me down good, and got good buns, all in the same person. So I have people who could give me the head A, who buns is A, and who dick is A. Like, so I don't have that, never has in my whole life has ever come into the same person. So does that make sense? So
It completely
never.
makes sense. You got me thinking now, girl.
Yeah, I don't
Because
have somebody.
if you notice, none of the instances that I described was it all in one person. With the threesome, there were two different people.
Right. So for me, if your buns is good, usually your dick is not good. If your dick is good, your head is average, or it's never all A. So that's my life. So I'm gonna separate it by three things. Buns, when I say buns, I mean cakes, me topping you. So me topping buns. Is your buns fire? Is your whole holding? Is it tight? Is it wet? Are you working it? Whole, baby, whole. So that's buns. Then we talk about head. Now I'm gonna separate them with giving and getting. And then we talk about dick. Dick is me being the bottom, getting top, getting slayed, dick inside of me, penetration, da da da. That's what dick. So let's go back to the buns. So there was two buns that it's two people. I don't know the first person name because he was a white trick. so
Well, damn, bitch.
I don't know his name. He was a paying customer. But what I do remember,
Bitch, not it was over and you got paid for it, bitch.
woo, he was this. I'm trying to think about Bobby from King of the Hill. Like if you made him an adult.
Yes, I see him.
Yes, think of he was a real person and an adult. He came in the room, he came in my house, and you see a client that ain't really a type, you like, okay, I'm gonna get my rate. I'm a top him, it's gonna be da 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 da. So he comes in, he's nerdy, he's quiet, he looked like somebody live in his mama basement that play video games all day. Um, he smelled good. He had a nice smell, like he took a shower like a man. He smelled nice, but he was heavy set. He was definitely plus size and just a nerdy looking regular fat white boy. It's nothing that you would see him and think that anything. Baby, he lays in my bed and bends over doggy style. Of course, safe sex, of course. So I put the condom on, and all I can tell you is when I slid in, my face said,
Bitch.
because I had never experienced something that fit like a glove. Like it was like, I had some, like, oh, I'm in here. It's kind of, you know how you slide in and it's kind of like, you go in and out to wet it up, and then it gets like, oh, okay, it's getting better and better as da da da. Soon as I slid that motherfucker in, I was like, oh shit. You know how like when you masturbating or you fucking and like you can feel it like, oh, I'm about to nut. Like and usually that takes, a cute little 5-10 minutes before you start getting that feeling like, okay, it's about, oh, if I keep doing this about to make me go.
You describing that man with that vagina that I was talking about.
So I'm talking about soon as I put it in, that feeling was coming. And I had never felt that where I'm like, oh shit, I can't work this like I normally work it because I'm going to be up out of here. It's going to be a TK. I mean, a KO. It's going to be a knockout, baby, because I'm feeling this shit like from the tip to the base. It is squeezing and feeling like, oh shit, this is snatching me like a soul snatcher as soon as you put it in. And so that's what it was. It was like, oh, I'm about to nut. Like I can't even.
Not through a motherfucking condom,
Through a
bitch.
condom, bitch. Through a condom, bitch. I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't never. And I'm sitting there like, I might need to feel this outside the condom. Because if it's like this,
It'll have you thinking.
on,
It'll have you thinking about it, won't you?
I was like, bitch, hold on. I ain't never felt nothing like this. This feeling like something. Like, oh, I hope he come back with some more money.
Yes, ma'am.
So I got to stroke it. So I'm like, and it's not like, and sometimes when you in something, it's not that it's bad. It's that, if you change your stroke up a little bit and like slow down, you can stop yourself from feeling that feeling of, oh, I'm about to nut. But if you go hard, you gonna nut. But if you stop, slow down and, angle it a little different, it's a whole different
Girl, that's
thing.
when you got to beat them. You got to beat them and make them come first, honey.
So I'm thinking like, but I couldn't. I cannot stroke in this shit and it not make me get that feeling. Like as soon as I move in this motherfucker, it's sending chills like, bitch, you about to nut. So I can't even, it's almost like I gotta be still in this motherfucker.
I need a gavel, bitch.
I'm like,
court is in session, honey.
bitch, I'm like, oh, I'm about to nut. So baby, I couldn't even play with it no more. I went ahead and said up and got to stroke him. I'm talking about in like 5 strokes. I pulled that condom off and nutted all over his ass. So that was the first time that I was in something that I'm feeling like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I ain't never felt that feeling of, man, I'm in something that's different. Fast forward to years later, that was probably in my 20s. I done had some buns that was good, but none that felt like that. Fast forward to this nigga named Ken. Now, Ken's gonna come in another part of the story, but but we on the buns. So Ken's buns, it's not that it didn't give me the feeling as the white boy, but Ken is the type of buns, is the first person that let me slay how I want to slay.
I got you.
You know how sometimes, right? It's sometimes a motherfucker, it ain't good because they can't really take dick. They can't really, they moving, they got to be in a certain position. Ken,
they pushing you back and you still, I don't know about you, but I still be cunt. I know some girls break cunt, but I don't break cunt when I'm talking. So I ain't fitting to fight you now. I'll whip you, I'll pick up something and bust your side of the head, but that's illegal. Don't do that. I'm joking. Don't do that. We don't condone sexual violence. Seriously.
Yeah. So it's a situation where I can just beat it up. Like however I want, whatever position, whatever, I can just do what I needed to do. And in the situation, I had never had somebody get on top and have a skill level that was like, oh, you know what you're doing up there. Like usually I would have to be in the top position and I'm like, I'm doing the fucking. Like that's what it would be. But then when he's the first person that rolled me and it felt like good. Like sometimes I had people ride me, it was like, okay, I'd much rather be in the doggy position or a missionary or because you doing something, but this ain't gonna make me nut. This is you up there and you going up and down and it's cool, but it ain't.
But I'd rather have a V8.
I'd rather, yeah, let me get on top and figure it out. So this is the first person who I'm like, oh, you know what you're doing. You working your cakes. So Ken, that was the moment in the bun. So the white boy and Ken had the most A buns, and it was because Ken knew what he was doing and he would let me get it how I want to get it. It wasn't no running, wasn't none of that. And the white trick, I don't know what magic he had in his hole, but it was just magic. So now we're gonna go to head. So this is head is who dick I like to suck and who I like they sucking my dick. So my head masters is Tim and Luther.
Oh, we got names.
So Tim is from DC, and he's the first person.
Bitch, we getting whole demographics on these niggas.
So Tim is the first person who I met that I would consider a munch. Like that, it does. Like they don't need to do nothing else but that for you. Like, he's the first person that I met like this, and he can just go. Like, he wants you to nut multiple times. He can just give you head and nothing else and get up and leave after y'all done. Ain't no fucking, ain't no nothing. He's the first person I met like that, where I'm like, oh, you really into this. And you can tell he's really into it. Cause baby, that nigga gobbled me up for probably at least 3 hours. And I was just nutting. And I kept going. He never got tired. It was like, yo, this is crazy. This is just somebody like that. Now Luther is something about Luther that he's just like that. He a munch. We don't do nothing else. But it feels like his mouth was made for my piece. It feels like wherever my piece stopped in his throat is the perfect place where it's supposed to stop. However that works, it just feels perfect. And so without him doing too much. Now Tim, his skill, like he got tricks and shit that he do that's like, oh, you know how to suck dick. Like, yo, I know how to do some shit. This is whatever that is, that's fine. Luther, his skill level feels normal. He does the normal shit that you do to suck a dick, but it's something about the shape of his mouth that just feels A1. So there's that. Now Sean is who I like to suck Sean's dick. Sean has a type of dick that looks beautiful. I consider this a section because his talk game is perfect for me. So I like quiet ass niggas, so I don't like you to be quiet, but I don't like degradation. Like, I don't like you to be degrading. I don't like cussing. I don't like you calling me all kind of bitches. And I don't like all that shit. I like for you to be almost worshipy and grateful. If you got the dirty talk that is like that
you better.
That's my type of deal. So I need you to praise me. I need to know what's going on. I need you to be, it's worshipy, and
we have that in common, girl.
Yeah. So Sean does it perfectly. Like, I didn't have to teach him to do it. He ain't into the whole, oh yeah, you're my little slut, huh? I hate that.
No, see, that's a turn off.
That turns me off. I never had to teach him or coach him in that kind of way. He immediately went into the, I'm worshiping. I love what you're doing me. Damn, this is good. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Oh, all that kind of shit. It's praise and worship. I love it. So that's my tea in regards to that. Now let's get to the dick.
Yes, praise and worship, bitch.
Glory.
Hallelujah.
So the last section is the dick in general. This is by far, hands down, the best. So his name is Prince. And he's a mechanic here in Houston. And Prince was a pleasant surprise. So Prince is a type of person who would trigger my dysphoria because Prince is so physically small in every way. Not his dick, but everything else.
Yeah, little nigga.
He is a little man. He is
little teeny nigga.
He's about 5'6", somewhere about 5'6". His hand
5'5" and 5'6" ain't that short, Diamond. You trying?
I am 5'11", and I'm used to dating people that are over 6 foot. I'm talking about dysphoria.
Okay,
that's for me.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
So that's not my norm to date a man that's 5'6", 5'5", da 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 da. Also,
and I can't, and also I can't speak for your dysphoria at the end of the day.
And you a small girl.
Shut up.
So anyway, so also not only is he short, everything about his body other than his dick is small. His hands is small. His feet is small. This nigga probably wear a size 6'7". Everything about this nigga is small physically. So when we hooked up the very first time, I felt fucking big. I felt huge next to him because everything about me was bigger than him. So it had the potential to be my late because of my dysphoria. Like I like big niggas because it make me feel feminine. Baby, this nigga come in. First of all, he's super handsome. So he smell good. He look good. And this is just one of the moments where I'm like, you short, but I'm horny. So
I'm
let's
gonna make it
go.
work.
I'm gonna make it work. And you got a nice piece. So let's make it work.
What was his ethnicity? Diamond, was he black?
I only has ever messed with on some free shit black men, and this is free. Now, clientry, I'm a little open, but as far as free hooking up with niggas is always black. Always.
Yeah, I knew that about you, but I wasn't sure if the listeners knew. But also, that's not stereotypical cis black man traits to have all those small features. You know what I mean? It's not stereotypical. When people think of black man, it's the stereotype of this big, brooding, dark man. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of tiny black men. And I mean, shit, I was a tiny black man pre-transition. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I was just curious. I was curious if he might have also been like mixed with something like black, maybe, but Latino or Afro-Caribbean or something.
Yeah, I also don't fetishize biracial and mixed people at all. So I never really deal. I like you to be unambiguously black. I
Black.
want you to be black. I want you to be black in every way. What
You
you
talking
about
about
to
the
say?
stereo? My bad. No, I was just when you said that, Brie, I was like, what? What about black men? It's like talking about the stereotype, the racist stereotype of black men.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to
We address
desirability.
stereotypes here. We address stereotypes here, absolutely.
I'm like, because black men are pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live, because some people don't live around a lot of black. You know what I mean? Like, don't see a lot of different types of black men.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in that situation, I was like, well, I'm horny, so and he hit me up and he done sent me picture of the other dick. So the dick is right. It's giving what I need. So I'm like, all right, let's do what we do. So he come over, I done dushed, I done got ready, I done did everything I need to do. It is what it is. And he come in, he is small, so I'm like, okay. I knew what it was gonna give because his profile had his height on there, so I knew what it was gonna give. So I'm ready, baby. When I tell you that little nigga climbed on this tree and went from every branch.
Come on, every branch.
That nigga got to drilling me in a way that I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. With a level of skill and precision. Cause some niggas, especially they got a nice piece, it's just ram.
Yeah, they don't even know what that's another stereotype, but that one tends to hold true. A lot of big dick niggas don't have a lot of stroke game because they never needed it.
Because it's just big. So, and that's what usually you'll find. It's like, it's just ram. But there was a certain level of finesse that he had where it's like, oh, this is experience. This is what it needs to be. It's like we were switching positions. He knew how to switch me in certain position where the dick ain't falling out and he can continue to stroke. He ain't got to stop and wait for you to get in your position. He literally was moving my body where it needed to be for him to be in the situation where I was like, oh, this is skill and this feels amazing. Oh my God, what is this? I never experienced this before. So I'm the type of person, I don't sleep with people in my bed. Like when I have hookups, I don't sleep with people in my bed. I sleep with people on my couch in the living room. I put a blanket over my couch and we just hook up on my couch. I don't like bringing the tray all through my house and take you to the bedroom. So I don't
Hell
really do
no,
that.
you don't need to be casing out a motherfucker thing in
I don't need
here.
you to see what I got. I don't need you to get any ideas. But also, I also don't like for them to be in my bed because I don't like I'm a very spiritual person, and I don't like to be you to infiltrate my dreams because your smell is now in my sheets. And so now while I'm dreaming, I'm smelling you and you're infiltrating my dreams. I don't like that. So I only smell I like in my bed is smell of my fabric softener, smell of myself, smell of me in my bed. So I don't like smelling niggas in my bed. So I don't really have. This dick was so good that I
Bitch, you
said,
let him.
let's move this to the bedroom because you need some more room. You need some more room. We need to get in my king size bed because the way you flipping and moving me on this little couch, I need you to have room. And so took him to my bed and he showed the fuck out. It was amazing. It was immaculate. It was an A. And the A was the skill. It was the level of him putting my big ass in different positions without even having to pull out of me.
Hallelujah.
It wasn't just a pound, it was a change in the stroke, it was a change in the rhythm. Sometimes it was a speed and moderation, and sometimes it was slow. Sometimes it was the simultaneity, the simultaneous kissing of the neck and the mouth and the sucking on the titties while I'm still stroking you while I'm doing this. While it just was the reach around, the good process of pounding and reaching around and stroking you at the same time. It was everything that it needed to be. And that's what made it an A and the separation from a C. Because you got some perfect C's that are like C's and B's that are like, oh, that's a good like doom, 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 doom. But this was the finesse in the skill. This is what made it an A. The finesse in the motherfucking skill. And Prince was fire. Last but not least, Jonathan. So Jonathan is my first love. He's the first love that I had puppy loves like in my high school and those kind of things. But I'm talking about my first mutual, I love you, you love me, ain't nothing down low. We public, we in a relationship, we go together type of situation. Not no down low secret bullshit. So that's a lot of my high school shit was down low secret bullshit. When I got in my 20s, I get with Jonathan, and Jonathan is my first open mutual love. We live together, we're dating, celebrating birthdays, typical first relationship, open, blah, blah, blah. So after 2 years, this is a whole long story. I'm not going to get into that, but he ended up cheating on me. And I found out about it because he tells me, and it was a whole thing because I actually was trying to get him to try pussy for the first time because he was a virgin when I got with him. He had never had pussy before. And I, as somebody young and curious too, I want him to have pussy. I want him to try vagina so he knows what it's like. I don't want to take that experience away from him. And so he goes through this whole little process where he was like, but we in love though, and I don't want to ruin that situation with us. Da 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 da. So anyway, it's so much to this story because it's a love story of 3 years. He ended up cheating on me. And I found out about it. Me and my homegirls get in the car and we ride out to the hotel. We about to turn up. We about to, I'm ready to throw hands. I'm ready to like it's so much going on. It's so much going on. So I am angry. I'm frustrated. I'm ready to fight. That's what it is. I'm ready to fight. And so he tells me where he's at. I tell my whole girl, I'm pulling up. Da 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 da. And I got my sweatpants on. I got my head wrapped. I get to the door, knock on it, and get it. And his look at me when he come to the door of despair, like he start bawling and crying, and he turns into this fucking bitch ass nigga that is saying sorry and just going through this whole situation, and it just turns me into a fucking bitch ass nigga. And in that emotional moment, it turns into us fucking.
Girl,
I can't explain it. I don't know why I don't know why afterwards. I was like, bitch, what the fuck just happened? But I don't know. I was in my early 20s. I was like
not
20.
toxicity.
I was like 22, 23. And baby, all I remember is the passion of the fuck was so high because of the emotionality of it that it was one of the heights sexual moments of my life where I'm like, oh my fucking God, why? Is it because of the emotions? Is it because of the passion? Is it because da 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 da? Everything went downhill after that, but that moment was such a A1 because we had been in love. We had now this break happen and da 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 da. It just was crazy. And that was just a moment that I remember of, God damn, this was so much passion and so much everything. And yeah, that's what made it an A, the emotionality of it, the passion and emotionality of it.
The passion of the Christ, honey.
So baby, don't play with it.
Lord.
So baby,
Oh
don't
Lord.
play with it, as Jill Scott says in her song. Um, yeah, so that's what it is. I want to know. Let us know. Hashtag Marsha's Plate on what makes a session, like a A1, A plus, A plus plus. What's the difference for you? What makes somebody exceptionally good as opposed to just being, oh, this was good, this is okay, this is good. What makes them great? What makes them an A in your book? Let us know. Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Hashtag MARSHASPLACE. Fantasia Taylor. We're going to talk Fantasia Taylor, honey. I want to know y'all opinion on Fantasia Taylor. First, did y'all know she was married? Quick question. Yeah, Nate,
Yeah.
were y'all
I think
aware
I knew
that,
she
that
was
she's
married.
married?
Fantasia Barrino
Yeah.
Taylor. Yep.
No, Taylor. It's not no Barrino Taylor, honey. She is Fantasia Taylor, honey. Keep that in
Oh,
mind
okay. She switched
as
to that.
we as
Okay.
keep that in mind as we discuss our good sister Fantasia. Which honestly, I personally don't think it really mattered. I think she's a one name artist. I think everybody knows her as
Yeah.
Fantasia,
At this
regardless of the
point.
last name. But anyway, she's married. Been married to her husband for a little while now. And just this past Valentine's Day at one of her shows, he came on stage and did an official proposal in front of the whole crowd. The whole Offset Cardi B set, he came out and he did a proposal because he felt like he didn't officially propose in a traditional way and he wanted to do a traditional proposal. Blase, blah, this, that, and the fact. Honestly, me personally, I think she put him up to do it because I don't think men naturally come up with shit like this unless you feed it to them. But that's a whole nother subject. They did the proposal, honey. The proposal wasn't even warm. Honey, the proposal didn't even have no socks on it before Fantasia father, Joseph Marino, goes live on Facebook. After posting a couple posts. First, he reposts the proposal. Like I said, the proposal didn't even have socks on it. As soon as the proposal hit the internet, and the proposal hit the internet in real time, because at least one person records a concert, honey, every concert. Anyway, he reposts the proposal, Joseph Barrino, Fantasia's father. Let me pull up the text so that I can quote him verbatim for y'all. This is Joseph Barrino's father, quote unquote. He's only given back a small portion of the stolen money that the financial lady just questioned him about. Then he fired her. The sad part of it all, he has used this prison manipulation to use this spiritual platform that has her bamboozled. Fans, y'all pray for Fantasia. Greatest weakness, Man, this is done out of love, not hate. This is my baby, honey. And then he reposts the proposal again and says, fake cry, bull crap. He's giving back some of the missing money the fired financial committee says he's probably stole that they couldn't account for. Y'all pray for Fantasia. I hate this for her. Y'all don't think I'm illiterate. I'm just reading what the man wrote, honey. And we know everybody didn't pass grammar in English. You know what I mean? Long story short, honey, Fantasia's father came out and aired all of his personal feelings. For everybody listening, y'all could see more details of his rant. If y'all follow us, if y'all follow the pages, you can see it. You could go to either page and see it, right? The father also references a speech that Farrakhan made, since we talking about famous Negroes and their speeches. Apparently, Farrakhan made a speech to Fantasia while Fantasia was in the audience, made a speech to her while referencing her to the entire congregation. And he basically, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, that Fantasia needs a better man.
Oh, Jesus. Not Farrakhan.
And Farrakhan
Wow.
Farrakhan went on and on about Fantasia's greatness and about how essentially her man wasn't great enough for her. And this was based on what Farrakhan believed and or knew and or was prophesying about their marriage and the way that he treated her. Farrakhan ain't say nothing about stealing, but Joseph Barino did. Again, more details. Y'all can hit the Marsha's Plate page. If you don't see it there, you can find my page through Marsha's Plate page. My question to y'all is, because for me, I'll give my opinion while I let y'all continue processing all of that. I personally think that it wasn't for the internet. I have more thoughts than questions. I'm also aware of Fantasia's past with her father and how at one point in time she was essentially homeless with her daughter and felt like her father wasn't a place to go, or he wasn't available as a place for her and her daughter to go because of his temper. Fantasia has also admitted to being influenced and affected by her parents' divorce and being disappointed by her father in that way. I say all that to say that we as the public and as fans have been given the impression that Fantasia's not very close with her father. You know, even when she did her reality show, we didn't see a lot from her father, and we didn't see a lot in the positive light from what we did see and hear. I think that it's a conversation that could have been had privately, that should have been had privately, that should have been had later. Allow her to bask in the ambiance, allow her to bask in the glory of her moment. Let your child have a moment. You couldn't even give her a week or two. She's already married to the man. Why'd you have to ruin it now and ruin it publicly? It feels very cold. And it's honestly, it was very heartbreaking for me to see. Now, I do believe it's possible that Joseph Barino is right. I do believe that it's possible that that Mr. Taylor then got up in her coin. I mean, she's the breadwinner, honey. Just like I'm sure Todd got up in Candy Corn, honey. Just like we know Calvin got up in Wendy Williams' corn. You know what I mean? I'm an equal opportunist, honey. Baby, you better if your spouse partner is worth millions, you better get what you could get regardless of your gender, honey. You a fool if you don't. But anyway, how do y'all feel
About sharing it publicly?
about the entire situation, about the reproposal? Do you have any thoughts about that? Do you have any thoughts about her father going live and sharing all of those allegations? Do you have any thoughts about the allegations?
I
Any
mean,
thoughts about Farrakhan?
I think it's interesting that, her dad, I mean, I'm just thinking about all the different pieces. Like, that's kind of wild that, like, clearly some there people think some feel some kind of way about her husband. I'll start there. I'll say that, which is usually, not a way to get people to separate if they're in a toxic situation. They probably gonna lean in a little bit more, typically. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Still processing. Diamond, what you think?
Diamond, I see your face doing a lot of things. I know you got some thoughts. I just don't know if they're good or bad.
So I think that when you are a girl and you're raised with your father in your life, especially a father like her father, because from what I'm to understand, I don't know all her story and every single detail about it, but from what interviews in the past, I remember she got into it a lot when she won American Idol, and she's been a star since the early 2000s. And so she's had biopics done by her life. She on Lifetime. She doesn't. I don't watched her story unfold. And from what I'm to understand, there is a level of. It wasn't like her father was absent. Her father was in her life, but he had like this toxic, patriarchal, masculine type of vibe on her. Like, even almost like a Joe Jackson level, almost like a my way or the highway. Like, if you don't do it my way. And so, as somebody like her who is amazing, who is great, comes into her own.
Yeah.
But even before she come into her celebrity, her even having a baby and not having being supported. I remember that's a part of her story where they kind of pushed her away from the church because she got pregnant and all this kind of stuff. So there's a level of when you have a father like this, they will throw you away if you don't do what they think you're supposed to do as a girl. And so when you grow up and now you got money and they don't have access to your money the way they think they should, especially if they feel like they played a part in grooming you to be a star, and here you are and you make it. They feel like they should have access. So there is going to be some tension between a man that becomes your husband and your father. There is going to be, but I think that that's happened because we live in a patriarchal world where especially if your father is in your life, where your father almost gives you to your husband. That kind of cultural
Yeah.
underlining is there. And so there has to be a break where I'm your husband, and especially somebody like who's a pick me, like Fantasia is, somebody like that is going to have a break between their father and their husband, especially if these are the type of men who are quote unquote leading me in the right direction. There is going to be some tension there when that shifts happen. You're going from one leader to another leader, especially if you're a pick me that thinks like fucking Fantasia. She is a pick me, period. And
Why is she a
so
pick me? Why is she a pick me?
you
Her
I
history.
can't.
Because of the
Her
conditioning, because
history.
of the conditioning around misogyny and patriarchy and all that, and kind of
Because of
internalizing all those things.
I
her
would
religious
say
beliefs
Right, internalizing sexism, internalizing
that she
patriarchy,
believes in.
internalizing misogyny, because it's reinforced all around her. Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I when you when
but
you wait. Let me finish. When you there's a difference between I'm making these decisions and and I'm regurgitating what I'm taught, and I'm just telling you this happened to me because of this, as opposed to a pick me who is preaching to other girls, preaching to other women, preaching to other wives, preaching to
Mm.
other people their beliefs as if they're judging them and saying they're doing something wrong. I found a man because I was able to let him be a man. There's a different tone, a different accountability. Yes, I can say you were indoctrinated in this, but when you grow the fuck up and you're a grown ass woman in your 30s and you're trying to judge other women because they're not moving like that patriarchal move, I don't give you no grace. You wanted to preach
Well,
and be a pick
yeah,
me.
yeah.
You wanted to
Unfortunately, yeah,
preach and
yeah.
judge other women. So now I'm judging
No,
you
yeah,
by
no.
your
That's
own situation. And
right. I
so
mean, yeah,
that
yeah.
tension,
I ain't making.
that tension,
I
that
ain't. Oh,
that
I'm
wait, wait,
sorry.
wait. Just I'm almost finished with this point. I got one more point though, but this one is that there's gonna always be that tension when you trade one patriarch for your new patriarch. So there's that statement. So I'll let y'all talk before I get to my next statement. What was y'all about to
Yeah,
say?
I just wanted to say real quick to respond to Jay as well, to piggyback off of what you were saying. I completely agree that it's very pick me behavior, and in a lot of ways for the pick me, the definition of pick me, things that Fantasia has done in the past, I think would be textbook for a lot of people's definition of pick me. Not going to repeat all the things you said. I agree with them, to piggyback off of that. Also, on top of that, her history with relationships publicly, and, and things that people who she's been willing to settle for, you being, so church and so godly, and you talking about God, and God sent you this person and this, that, and the third, but this person is married, and in one relationship that she was in. Just an example. I think in a lot of ways, whether she's realized it or not, she's admitted to being a pick me, even when talking about her past. And just to add color and to add tone, for all of y'all who saw the video of her father ranting, that was something that was brought up. He was saying that he didn't want her to be a pick me for him, but I also agree with you, Diamond. I think that he wants his daughter to be a pick me for himself. He wants to be able to pick his daughter's husband. And this guy that she picked, he didn't approve of. Because I didn't hear him saying shit when she was with the married man.
I mean, all of this is just reinforcement of misogyny and sexism and patriarchy, and you know, an example which you have a lot of, but you also have a lot of examples that aren't this. Of that's being reinforced for Fantasia, likely within her family, likely not just through church, some of her friends. So unless there's some kind of intervention to like be like, girl, I don't know if you whatever you seeing this, whatever, to kind of challenge her, like it's hard for people to kind of break out of that mindset. You know,
I
uh,
get it.
it's kind of
I
crazy.
get it.
It's kind of wild though. I mean, regardless of if she's doing extra stuff and being like da 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 da, be like me because I'm more righteous in my in my shit. Either way, it definitely it's like that's a lot of you know of this shit being reinforced with since she was a kid, right? And her family, like you said, the type of church upbringing she had was one that is heavily into patriarchy in ways that some other denominations may not be, or other churches may not be. Like that's a big part of her shit. So
I just
uh
I
A
don't
lot of
no
a lot
problem.
of people, a lot of
I
people.
think you can name. I'm just saying because everybody's socialized into the shit. So she's not an exception. You're socialized into it. I'm socialized into it. Fantasia socialized into it. Nobody's exempt when you live in the United States, a
Mhm.
quote unquote stellar colony of a fucking America that's built on theft, rape, misogyny, patriarchy, all this other bullshit, and then it's reinforced in the dominant social culture by white people. Right, where women are to be fought over, women are to da da da, all this bullshit, Victorian shit. You got
That's
to be
fine,
docile. I'm
but
just saying, like that don't take away.
Fantasia has a whole different form
I'm just
of I
saying,
don't even think that this is a conversation with Fantasia. Fantasia has a whole different access
right, my point
to
of
the
saying that
world,
is
to
anybody.
various cultures, to people's opinions, to people attempting to educate her, to people educating her, to realizing that she's miseducated, and still she makes these decisions. Like every woman, trans, cis, could make these same excuses about our indoctrination. Every Christian could make excuses about their indoctrination. But for her to be, I think she's old enough to know better. So I'm not going to make excuses for her. But I will remind that these are all allegations. We don't know what's going on in her marriage. All we know is that her father is claiming this. And to be honest, I don't trust her father 100% as a source. But I'm saying, if she continues settling for trash men, I'm not going to pat her on the back and be like, "Oh, sister, just ingrained."
I mean, I think it's important to be able to acknowledge that and not say I support what she's doing. Like, saying that doesn't take away from that. Like, I don't understand, you know what I'm saying? So for some folks who might think that, that's just not true. Like, someone can be, you got a lot of people that deal with a lot of racism, sexism, misogyny, transphobia that do fucked up shit. That isn't a reflection. Bree, you are a psychologist of some of the bullshit that they've been indoctrinated, ingrained into in this society and reinforced through their community and their fucking family. That's all I'm saying. I didn't even mean for it to even take on its own life. I was just making a comment like, that's, an example of that shit, of how that's reinforced and shows up for people. That's it.
I think that there's a different, it's kind of like, you remember, I don't know if y'all seen it, but there's a little white girl. She's been popular for most of like these past 5 years since COVID, and she be going around to college campuses. She's like a female version of Charlie Kirk, and she got wavy hair. She be putting mic in people's face. She a white girl, and she's a conservative. She's MAGA. She be coming in people's face. So are you going to kill kids? What do you think about, you don't think that that's murder? She'll ask these,
I think I know who you're
provoking
talking
questions. And so she's real aggressive about putting her beliefs on other people. I am not going, if I'm discussing her, I am not gonna say, when we discussing her shit and any issues that she come across, I am not gonna say, well, we all are indoctrinated in this white supremacy. There's a certain level of aggression that she has in judging other people that I am not gonna give her there's a difference between some quiet woman who is, just kind of following the rules, and I didn't
The
know
state and facts ain't making excuses, Diamond.
I
Facts are
don't
not
know.
excuses.
I don't know that this is happening. I am not going to. I'm not gonna give her the same grace, because you are aggressively judging other people. And there is something about Fantasia, regardless of the patriarchy, when she speaks, particularly when she was on Breakfast Club, there's a pick me judgment that she has on other women. And so while I understand on the bigger picture that we all are indoctrinated in da 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 da, you still are making decisions, fucked up decisions, that don't even go along with your fucking indoctrination. Because just like you was fucking indoctrinated with that shit, you still was out here fucking getting pregnant when you was young, and you wasn't supposed to be doing that. You still was doing shit you wasn't supposed to be doing. You was indoctrinated in the patriarchy, and you still was fucking somebody's husband. You still was doing that. So you have the power to do something different outside of that patriarchy and indoctrination, and you still do this fucked up shit, the negative stuff, but also you sit and judge other bitches because outside of the indoctrination, you still make it seem like you doing something better when, bitch, that's not what you doing. But anyway, I want my last point as far as Farrakhan, because he is somebody, it's something that annoys me about these type of old head patriarchs. A great woman is gonna always, these niggas is gonna always think they need a greater man. Because of how patriarchy works, Whitney Houston gonna need a greater man. Oprah gonna need a greater man. All these great women, they gonna think that you need somebody that's on your level to control you and keep you in a woman's place as a woman. So it don't matter who you are. If you are a great woman with success, they're gonna think you need a greater man. Because how patriarchy works,
You
How
talking about
patriarchy work is they think somebody should be over you. They think
who's
your
they?
husband should be patriarchs.
Who's the hold on,
All of them.
because now it's being because there's a listen when we jump from we talking about this person or a situation and then go to in general, then it gets a little cloudy for me. So when you say patriarchs, what do you mean?
This is crazy. What's crazy about you is that you will do this. You literally just did this with the patriarchy. You said everybody is indoctrinated in general, and now all of a sudden, when I do it about patriarchy, it's oh my god, it's confusing and clouding. You literally just did what I just did.
Mm,
What are you talking about?
okay.
That's what
When
happened.
I'm asking that, all I'm saying is, you mean like the people marrying, the people dating, the people.
I'm
I'm
talking
a
about
literal brain
patriarchs.
person. Okay,
I'm talking about patriarchs in general.
okay.
Just like you were
Misogynistic
just talking
people in
about
general.
indoctrination in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you were just doing. We were talking about Fantasia, and you said, well, in general, everybody is. Da, 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 da. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing you
Right,
just did.
right,
What's cloudy
right. I
about
got you.
it?
I got you. We on the same page now. We on the same page. Yep.
So, patriarchs like Farrakhan,
Yep.
when they believe that a man is supposed to lead and be over you,
Mm-hmm.
it don't matter
Right,
how
right, right,
great
right,
you
right.
are as a woman.
Thank you. Yep.
When you, I don't matter how great you are as a woman, when you're great, they want somebody greater. So him looking at Fantasia with all this money, all this access, you need a
Mm-hmm.
strong man to come in and control
Right. He
you
on some bullshit. Right.
because you are a great woman. You need a greater man. That man next to you ain't great.
Mm-hmm.
and,
And men and like
and
I
he's doing just like her daddy is doing. That nigga
right.
ain't great. It's
I got a little thrown off with the Oprah reference and some other people reference, so that's why I was like, wait a minute.
But the Oprah thing too, when Oprah
Okay.
too,
yeah,
people complain about Oprah how Stedman, her and her
Mm,
relationship with Stedman. They want somebody who is gonna be bigger than Oprah. They will say that.
mm,
But Stedman is on his own thing, and you got to understand he's his own man. He doesn't need to be bigger than Oprah. But
right.
they complain about how
Oh, okay.
she
They're
is this
complaining about that.
complaining about that in a way that makes it seem like she needs to be taken down a peg.
Got
She's
you.
too powerful. She needs somebody that's going to
I
balance her out.
I got I got lost because I thought you were saying Oprah was doing was in the same situation as Fantasia. So that's why I was like, I'm getting a little
she
lost
was.
here. I'm
I
just
remember that scrutiny. I
so
remember that scrutiny, Jay.
wait.
I remember
Hold on.
people
Wait.
criticizing her and Stedman.
Yes.
Wait. Hold
But
on.
she comes from a father. She comes from one of
Wait.
those type of fathers like Fantasia Barrino.
Time out. I'm a little
So did
confused.
Whitney.
Hold up. Let's back up. I'm confused. So, okay. So with Fantasia situation, we're saying she's in this misogynistic situation that's like very overtly sexist, very overtly hyper patriarchal, hyper misogynistic, right? And you're saying that's exactly the same thing as Oprah because Oprah is with Stedman? Or are you saying that Oprah was criticized because Oprah wasn't with someone like she should be with someone bigger than her? That's what I'm getting lost.
Patriarchs want them to marry somebody that can be over them. Whitney, Oprah,
Mhm,
Fantasia, because
mhm,
the context of what Bree presented us is in relation to the father, her father. If you know
mhm,
the history of Whitney's father, the
mhm.
history of Oprah's father, and the history of
Church.
Fantasia's father, the patriarchal control of them. There was a control of her that she
Of
had to
Oprah
break free,
as an adult after she left the house.
that she had to break free from.
But I'm saying I'm just being clear. Oprah, to me, the big difference between what you're talking about as it relates to Oprah versus Fantasia and Whitney Houston is that Oprah left the house and went to college and moved on with her life and was no longer necessarily enshrined, had that shit over her dictating the choices she was making in her life and her money. Fantasia, on the other hand, and Whitney Houston did not, had their dad still involved in their life as adults and helping and kind of, kind of trying to manipulate
No,
the
they
choices they
all
would make.
had their dads in their life
No,
as adults.
no.
That's why
All
I'm
of them,
confused.
all of them as adults, when they went on to be successful, all
Mm,
of them had to have had a situation in their life where they had to cut their dad off.
okay. I did not know
Every
that
single
about
one.
Oprah. That's why I said I didn't know that about Oprah.
Yes.
Mm,
So my point is they're gonna always feel like there should be somebody over you. You cannot be the great one. You cannot be the great one because a man should be over you. And that's all I wanted to say. So even when Farrakhan said that to her, it's because he's a patriarch that think the man should be over you. It's just what it is. That's so it's not surprising.
mm,
I hear that so many. I hear that from so many people that you gotta. Patriarchy tells you that you have to tone yourself down. You have to dim your light, and this is pressure that we heard the Whitney talk about. This is pressure that many great women that are in relationships with people, particularly men, they felt like there is this push and pull for them to dim their light. And so I
mm.
think that that's something that they're gonna that you're gonna always face. I think Fantasia is gonna always have some nigga in her ear telling her that, girl, you need a real man. So that's what I think about that.
Shit, honey, we know how patriarchy and misogyny works. Honey, she gonna have women in her ear telling you, girl, you need a real man as well, honey. It's gonna be a gang of people, honey. And that's what it's given, you know. Like I was saying earlier, I'm personally an equal opportunist. I'm personally a equal opportunist when it comes to romantic relationships, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If it's good for a woman to be, I mean, if it's good for a woman to be kept and taken care of, why can't it be good for a man? And why is you mad, Daddy? Like, if it's working for them, be
Mm.
glad that your daughter is happy. But do you have any outside thoughts, any final thoughts, Jay? I think Diamond has expressed all she wanted to express. No. What about you, Jay?
No, no, not really. I think, thanks for clarifying because I was like, I got lost in the thought.
Yeah. Oprah. Not too long
Yeah.
ago, Jay. Just to add context. Not
Mm,
too long ago, it was a story. I think it was when Oprah's Oprah's dad died, or for whatever reason, his death was brought up again in the last few years. I don't remember exact details, but I remember
mm.
people reacting like, "Oh, I didn't even know Oprah's dad was that old," or "I didn't even know who Oprah's dad was and never even heard about him." I mean, that's real disconnect, honey, when you don't even talk about the motherfucker, when people don't even know that they exist, honey.
I
People don't
mean,
even know that they name, and you one of the most famous black women in the world.
I'm just gonna say I think that's the case today. I don't think that was the case in the '90s at the height of her popularity with her show. Like her dad, uh, was someone that I think his name's Vernon, that was kind of, he wasn't around, but enough where if you watch the show, which back in the day there was no social media, people came home, people didn't really have DVRs, and everybody was taping stuff. So it was like 4 p.m. If you where you at, you watching Oprah. So, but yeah, I think I just think back in the day, I think for again, I have older parents, so I think for members of our community who are a little older, they might be for some of them they might be more familiar with some more stuff about Oprah. But
I
yeah,
see.
definitely not today. Shit, no doubt. Since she canceled her show. So
And wait. There is what I'm talking about is holding up. She was still cool with her dad. We not talk just like Fantasia is cool with her dad. They can still be like even Whitney and her dad. That whole situation where he's stealing her money. It's when I say cut off, I mean set a boundary with them. With not
Mm-hmm.
like of course Oprah was still went to her dad's funeral, was still in relationship with her dad, but I'm talking about where once she got older, there had to be a boundary set when it comes to talking about trauma that they experienced from their dad, talking about harm and shit that goes on that came from their dad. There was a come to Jesus moment for each and every one of these women when it comes to the patriarch in their life.
I think we're also just both into pop culture and into the gossip more than Jay is. So he really don't be clued in like that. He's still thinking about what was happening in the 90s or what he thought in the 90s when
I'm
we
not.
were all being programmed about celebrities and not knowing the real teas for ourselves. In closing, because we got more that we want to discuss with y'all, what do y'all think about Fantasia? What do y'all think about her Valentine's Day proposal? Did y'all know she was married? Was you clueless to that tea like I was, honey? What do y'all think overall about these father, husband, daughter dynamics? Let me know in the comments. Let us all know, honey. And make sure you hashtag Marsha's Plate. That's hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
So, what is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
I'll go. My dad's coming out the hospital this week. I got some family stuff going on. And so that is exciting. And got some family coming up to kind of help navigate how we're going to figure out next steps. So I'm excited to see family, excited my dad's coming home. Yeah, so that's bringing me euphoria is that. And I might be swinging down south for a quick second. So we'll see how that goes. What about you, Bree? What's bringing you euphoria this week?
First of all, shout out to your dad. Welcome home. Welcome home. And
Thanks.
I am praying on a speedy recovery for you, sir. What's bringing me euphoria this week? Honey, I'm back into my ballroom shit. I'm back into making ballroom content on YouTube, honey. You know, the people have requested and I have answered. But no bullshit. I'm really back into enjoying making content again. And this past weekend was the coldest winter ever 6, as well as the aftermath. For anybody familiar with ballroom culture presently, then you would know that the coldest winter ever balls are one of the biggest annual balls in New York, hosted by Caesar and Sanaya mainly, but there are a lot of other entities involved, YouTube included. So I've been enjoying getting into that footage. They had $5,000 and $10,000 women and trans women face. So I'm excited to get into that. I'm also, of course, excited to get into all of the Vogue clips, which I will be posting all of that stuff on my YouTube. I've been getting into the Winter Olympics for all the people who could see the screen. Oh Lord, but for all the people who could see the screen, we have Haiti in their opening costumes. It was so sickening to me. For the people who don't know the story behind just the fashion alone, the what do you call it? The textile or the pattern, the images that you see on the clothes are based off of a very popular painting of L'Ouverture, who was born a slave and led the rebellion that led to Haiti being free from France. Of course, they're not allowed to have anything political on their uniforms. So it is essentially the painting omitting the Black man riding around on the horse with the sword. But still, it gives me chills seeing it. It gives me chills knowing the history behind it, knowing that this is Haiti's first year in the Winter Olympics. And on top of that, just how fine they look. Because, Haiti gets such a bad rap. Haiti is such a disenfranchised country, honey, because France and all the Europeans are still paying their ass back. All the Caucasians are still paying them back for overthrowing that motherfucking country and kicking them French motherfuckers out of there and lynching the ones who stayed. Honey, they still getting their payback. But shout out to Haiti, because I feel like times like this and points in history like this are very symbolic that we are making progress as a diaspora, even though we may not always see it, even though we may not always believe it. So yeah, so the Winter Olympics, coldest winter ever, still coming off the high of Valentine's Day, getting back into making content. And the last thing, Halloween in Thailand. Baby, if you want to do something new this Halloween, if you want to go on an over international trip, if you just want to hang out with the put, honey, no offense to the people offended, that's just my name. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to Thailand for Halloween. Going to Thailand. The trip will be from October 29th to November 6th, I believe. But if you go to any of my platforms, you can get the whole itinerary, all the details in my link tree. You can book your spot. Very affordable trip, whole week. You're not going to find a better deal for travel. It's going to be food. It's going to be nightlife. It's going to be Halloween. Cannabis is legal. Drinking age is 20. We're going to go from the streets of Bangkok to the mountains of Chiang Mai. I'm excited. I'm hyped for all of the people who I haven't met in person yet who are going to come on a trip. I'm excited to meet them, and I'm excited to be in Thailand for the first time. Yeah, real hype. What about you, Diamond?
So, I don't know. Okay, so what's bringing me a joy is that today is the Euphoria is the first day of early voting in the Texas primary election. It is February 17th, and that means in-person voting starts today.
Let them know.
So that is what's going on. This is the primary election. This is who we are going to see go up against our governor. So our Democratic election, who's the Democrat that we're going to choose to be the contender. So of course, y'all know I'm voting for Jasmine Crockett.
Crockett. Mm-hmm.
So
Crockett for Senate.
Crockett for Senate, baby. So that's me. You can vote. I want you to do your research. You vote for whoever you vote for or whatever. And so on February 17th today is the early voting day. Also, other key days, that's early voting. So, voter day is the 3rd. March 3rd is the election day. So also you got February, the other dates that are a part of it. February the 20th is the mail-in ballot application deadline. February the 27th is the last day for in-person voting. And so, so then you go in person on the 3rd. Now, Wilmington County, I'm in Texas, so I gotta say this. Wilmington County, this is what y'all need to know, because we got motherfuckers playing games with y'all. Unlike other counties, we can go anywhere to vote. Y'all cannot. Y'all have particular Williamson and Dallas County, Texas. Y'all have particular voting places, and I think that's Dallas or whatever. So that particular place, you have a particular booth that you got to find out where yours particular is. They playing games.
That's wild.
They're playing games. So make sure you keep that in mind. That's on election day. That's on the 3rd. So make sure you keep that in mind. But fuck all of that. Vote early. Go now. Early voting booth. You can go anywhere. But on election day, they playing them motherfucking games. We know how they play. So go early. Get it out the way and do your thing. So that's what's bringing me joy, is that we get a chance to vote these motherfuckers out again. We get a chance to exercise the right that our ancestors fought for. We get a chance to exercise the right that our ancestors organized for. We get a chance to do something to pass a torch to our future children and future comrades to help them. This is the moment. Make sure y'all voting. So that brought me euphoria because I love voting.
Yes, honey. And think about it, honey. They wouldn't be making it this hard to vote if it didn't matter. The reason that they're trying to fuck it up and make it so difficult is because they don't want you to vote. If it didn't matter, why wouldn't they want you to vote?
Yeah.
And if you are a person who don't believe in it, bitch, vote anyway. So get your ass out and vote anyway, because your comrades, people who are in your community, need somebody in power that can they can organize with and negotiate with and work on. And there's some people that can be worse. And so we need the people you care about. You might not give a fuck about the system, but the people you care about are organizing, and they need your vote. They need your help. So go stand in line to help them. Don't even think about the 2-party and 3rd party. Oh, don't even think about that. Think about the people in your community right now who is
absolutely
counting on the vote, so their organizing can work, so they can be in. There's a difference. We unfortunately we didn't learn this for the 2024, but there's a difference. That's a perfect example. There's a difference between organizing against Harris administration and a Trump administration, as we can see. We're living the consequence of it. So here in Texas, there is a difference between whoever we get to support us and represent us in that fucking Senate and who is going to go up against the Hot Wheels, Craig Abbott, and all these people. So there's people who are organizing against these people who are going to be against them, and they need your vote to put the people in power who is actually going to let us come in their office and sit and at least talk to them.
Right.
So vote. All right. Well, that's my euphoria. And this was an intense conversation. It's probably going to be split up in 2 because that's like 4 hours.
It's a good conversation though.
Yeah, it was a good conversation, and let us know what y'all think, and we will see y'all next week. Hopefully,
all right, y'all. We love y'all.
Offended.
We love y'all.
Celebrate the motherfuckers.
Bye. Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's Plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We will be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's Diamond STYLZ@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing. Baby, it's gonna be alright.